Hello, I'm Rachel, and this is day 4. October 4th, 2025. This is my 4th day in a row of doing a video every single day for the month of October. I'm walking right now. That's the name of my YouTube name, is called Rachel B Walking, because walking is what I do. It's like a main part of my fitness journey. I have been on a fitness journey, changing my diet and my exercise habits, and I started this year on February 15th of 2025. I'm in my 7th month now, and I am definitely a work in progress. I just started heading back home. I am doing 8 miles this morning. That's kind of been what I've gotten up to over the past week or two. I've made it to 8 miles, and I continued doing that in the evening. In the morning, I walk every morning, and I walk every night. So in the morning, I do between 5 and 6 miles, and in the evening, I was doing 6. Sometimes I'll do 7, and then I'll do 8. And yeah, I feel like I'm a beast. I'm really proud of myself because I started, at the very beginning, pushing myself to maybe do 15 or 20 minutes. And yeah, and little by little, I enjoy this so much. And this is what I do for therapy, for health, for fitness, because it's something that I enjoy doing, and I don't dread doing it. I literally look forward to this part of my day every single day. I don't know if you can see it in my face, but I really am tired today. I feel drained, but I do this because I love doing this, and yeah. So what else could I talk about today? Okay, so in my video yesterday, I talked about how I was, how last February I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was extremely overweight, probably the heaviest that I've ever gotten to in my life. And I'm 41, and I was just done. I had just actually moved out of Los Angeles to Kentucky, restarting my life, and in an upwards trend, with everything in my life, except for I just was using food as a comfort, as something that I looked forward to, and I loved, and I love it. I still love food so much. It's always, gonna be something that has like a big piece of my heart. And I went to food for comfort, and that can be really dangerous when that's all that you have to look forward to is, filling a void with food, any and all food. And when I think about what I ate, on a daily basis, now that I am interested in tracking calories, and I don't do tracking as specifically at this moment, but I obviously have a regular diet of things that I eat, and I'm careful, but I'm not restrictive anymore. I'm not doing carnivore anymore. However, I will say that carnivore is probably the best thing that I could have started this with, because when you start, or when you get to a point where you're able to stick to a diet that's as restrictive as carnivore, meaning you're only eating meat and eggs and maybe a little bit of cheese, and you're able to stick to that, and I'm seeing progress, and I'm seeing that I'm capable of of having some kind of control over what's going into my body, then in addition to carnivore, starting doing walking and exercising, and letting my health be the most important thing, and prioritizing that in my life. What's what's interesting to me now is that after, you know, being a strict carnivore for February, March, April, May, literally stricter than strict, no cheating, no nothing. By June is when I think that I, you know, through watching tons of videos and getting input and seeing how my, you know, how my control over food and my ability to, you know, to have control over my eating habits was where I felt like I had a grasp on it. I started to experiment and say, look, I'm working out a lot, and I had a, you know, a really good routine, and I was walking regularly. Then I think I was just doing a morning walk, but still consistent. I was like, I would love to have a salad, and it sounds like such a trivial thing, but after being on carnivore, you know, and sticking to it and being totally loyal to myself, and not eating a one carb. My 0 carb life was my favorite video to watch. I think that the first thing that I had that was out of the carnivore guidelines, meat and eggs, was cottage cheese, and I'm like, oh my God, the cottage cheese never tasted so good. And then I'm like, well, let me just lower the fat, you know, keep the protein high, which is what I was really doing on carnivore, except for high fat, tons of protein. I'm like, well, how about let me try adding some vegetables and maybe eating leaner meats. And, you know, these things sound so stupid, but like when you make your health a priority, this stuff was interesting to me to see, you know, what it would do. And it was almost like a treat to have a salad and make a really healthy salad, and you know, with all the fixings like beets and stuff like that. And I was like, I have control now, you know, like I'm consistent with my exercise, and let me try something different. So I stepped out of the carnivore realm, because a lot of things that I hear about carnivore are, you know, people's success stories, and it's wonderful, but nobody in carnivore, in the videos that I was watching, was talking about exercising, you know? It was not a big part of the carnivore videos. It was all about maybe fasting, intermittent fasting, and then breaking your fast by eating a ton of, you know, New York strip and steak and, you know, egg yolks, and it's obviously delicious and amazing. But I was like, I am working out a lot, you know, like my exercise became the priority over just, you know, sugar and carb restrictions. So I was like, maybe I can add some healthy vegetables and if, you know, and carbs. And I'm sorry, I feel like I'm rambling about this, but these things are interesting to me. Maybe they'll be interesting to somebody else, but this is like my thought process was like towards June, after about 3.5 months into, you know, changing my life in this fitness journey, strict carnivore, absolutely 0 carbs. I'm like, well, I'm doing something a little bit different than the trend of these carnivore videos, which is that exercise is becoming a big part of my life. And now I'm craving vegetables, and I want some zucchini, and I want some lean chicken, and I want some cottage cheese, and, you know, and I was like, well, you know, let me curtail this, you know, my eating to my lifestyle. It doesn't have to be, everybody's journey does not have to be the same. What I realized after talking to my sister and watching different videos was that, like, you know, I'm working out a ton, you know, I'm exercising, and this is what I feel like I should do now, and I want to try this now. So I tried, you know, toning down the fat intake, upping the protein, and adding some vegetables. And I'm like, oh my God, it's never seemed like it would be such a treat to have some zucchini on my plate, or have some mixed greens in a salad with some with some beets, you know, and it was like exciting to switch it up a little bit, almost like, you know, when you have 0 carbs for so long and you have nothing but bacon and bacon grease and steak and egg yolks. I'm like, well, you know, now I'm gonna have something different. And that's kind of like how my diet change was, like a metamorphosis, that I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do, because I really wanted to keep up my energy, and a lot of carnivores are just about the eating, and it obviously, if you look at these carnivore people, Laura Spath, I think is her name, and My Zero Carb Life, it's amazing to see their transformation and to watch all their recipes and the cool stuff they do. But they are 100% zero carbs. But I never saw them talking about exercise. I probably, let's just say, like now I'm up to walking like between 12 and 14 miles a day. But in June, I was probably doing like 45 minutes to an hour, maybe a good 4 miles a day. And I felt the need to change my diet a little bit. So probably since June, I have had, I've been on a calorie deficit. But yeah, and I think that this is just to say that, like, no two people's journeys are the same, and you never have to commit to something forever, because my life has changed, and my goals have changed, and my daily activities have definitely changed. My goal for myself now is fitness, getting fit and getting lean, and keeping my energy up, and obviously, keeping my body at a, as healthy as it can be, and to do that, I needed more. I needed to have a leaner diet, and I needed to have, more options, because that's just what worked for me. I feel like I'm rambling, probably because I am a little bit tired, but I'm just trying to keep my word and make my video every day for the month of October. But hopefully I said what I needed to say, and I will see you on October 5th for video number 5. Have a wonderful day. Oh, and look at my shirt. Food, not pharma. 100%. One of my customers made this shirt for me, and I believe it 100%, because why do we need Ozempic? Okay, that'll be for another day, another time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.